Is 8 rakats of Taraweeh permissible? Right. So if you go on our Darussalam Foundation website, then you go on the audio section. Under the audio section, there's a list of seminars, monthly seminars. Under the audio section, you have tafsir, you have Jummah khutbahs, you have all sorts of things. Go to the seminar section. Under the seminar section, there's a whole seminar, like 1.5 hours, setting the record straight, Taraweeh rakat 20 or 8. So if you can hear that, then you will get a detailed answer. In short, there's, in brief, how many, in just, we have, it is now 5 o'clock, so we are now in overtime. So I'm stop with this last question. In this last question, in brief, what it is that in the time of Umar Farooq radiallahu anhu, in the Khalifa Sani, the second Khalifa, he saw the people performing Taraweeh separately. Rasulullah performed Taraweeh first of all, 3 nights. After performing Taraweeh 3 nights, he said that, I'm afraid it will become farad upon the ummah if I continue to perform it, and people are coming in large numbers. So he started performing it individually. And the Sahaba performed it individually. Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu had very few, he only had 2 years of Khilafat, and he was busy with all these murtadeen, apostates, false prophets propping up, solidifying the deen and setting the state in this Arabian Peninsula. So he didn't have time to focus on Taraweeh, and he passed away in 2 years. But Umar radiallahu anhu's time was more calm, in the time of expansion and conquest and of Islam. And so then what he did is he came to the masjid and he saw people praying in small groups. So he said, Rasulullah performed it in Jama'ah, it's proven through the Sunnah. But then he said, there's only one reason why I'm not going to continue in Jama'ah, and that reason is that I am afraid that it will become farad. And that reason is now not valid anymore, because nothing can become farad now. The deen is complete, the sharia is complete. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has completed the deen. Al-yawma akmaltu lakum deenakum wa atmamtu alaykum ni'mati wa raditu lakum al-islam deena. Today I have completed the deen. Nothing can be added to the deen after Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he said, let us all perform the salah together in Jama'ah. Then he appointed Ubay ibn Ka'b radiallahu anhu, who is the greatest qari, as Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Aqra'ahum Ubay ibn Ka'b, made him the imam. And from there on till today, every single year, all these centuries, 20 rakat has been performed in Masjid al-Nabawi, and 20 rakat has been performed in Masjid al-Haram in Makkah al-Mukarramah. Sheikh Muhammad Atiyah Salim was a one great scholar who recently passed away. He was one of the mudarrisin and teachers of hadith and fiqh in the Masjid al-Nabawi. He had a halaqah of dars there, and he also taught in the Islamic University in Medina Munawwara. He wrote a book, Salat al-Taraweeh bil Masjid al-Haram al-Nabawi منذ أكثر من 1000 عام. The status of the Salat al-Taraweeh in the Masjid al-Nabawi for more than 1000 years. And he gives the whole detail. Who was the Imam, and how many rakats were performed, and how the Taraweeh was performed in the Khulafa Rashidin era, after Umar radiallahu anhu. During Uthman radiallahu anhu's Khilafah, the Imam of the Taraweeh was Ali radiallahu anhu. He was leading the Taraweeh. Thereafter, and during the Khilafah of Ali, who led the Taraweeh, during the Banu Umayyah era, during the Banu Abbasi era, during the Uthmani era, all these kings came and went, how the Taraweeh continued. And he has proven every single year, all these centuries, it was always 20 rakat. Not a single year ever there was 8 rakat performed in Masjid al-Nabawi, the Masjid of the Prophet ﷺ, nor in Masjid al-Haram in Makkah al-Mukarramah. So, all the 4 Imams of fiqh, Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Malik, Imam Shafi, Imam Ahmad, all agreed that it's 20 or more rakat. Why I say more, it's because in Makkah al-Mukarramah, after every 4 rakat, they would have such a long break. That's what Tarweeh means. Tarweeh means the time to take raha and rest. They would take breaks, they would make tawaf. Literally would make a tawaf after 4 rakat, then pray 4 rakat, then make tawaf. That's when they had all nights to do ibadah. So imagine if that was the case. We cannot make tawaf here. So the people in Medina couldn't make tawaf either. So they felt bad. So that's what they used to do is, in each break, they would perform 4 rakat extra nafil. So they perform 4 rakat Taraweeh, then in the break they would perform 4 rakat. So how many breaks there are? After first 4 rakat is a break, after second 4 rakat, third, fourth. So they would perform, in 4 breaks they would perform 16 extra rakat. That's why the Imam Malik has 36 rakat. 20 rakat Taraweeh and 16 nafil. 36. So you'll have more than 20, but you will never have less than 20. There's none of the Imams of fiqh say there was 20 rakat. Less than 20 rakat, 8 rakat. Then, actually the word Taraweeh is interesting, because Taraweeh means a break. So everyone agrees that the break is after the 4 rakat. So in Arabic language it's interesting, you have a singular word, and then you have a dual word, and then you have a plural word. In English you have like boy and boys. Boy means one boy, and boys means two or more. But in Arabic you'll have waladun, one boy, waladani means two boys, and then awladun means three or more boys. There's a separate tense for two, that's called the dual, tasniya. It's not found in English. You understand? So, when you pray 8 rakats, how many breaks do you have? If you don't count the last one because you're getting up and going home for good, it's over, you only have one break. So 8 rakat cannot be called even, like linguistically, you can't even call it Taraweeh. Because Taraweeh is not a single word, it's not a dual word, it's a plural word. Taraweeh means 3 or more breaks performed after 4 rakat. So it has to be at least 16 rakat. So after the first 4 rakat you have a break, after the second 4 rakat you have a break. If you have the first 4 rakat, it's tarweeha. After the second 4 rakat, you have a break, it's tarweehan. After the third set of 4 rakat, you have a break. After 12 rakats, now it's taraweeh. If you end there, it's not. If you continue after that, then it's called the tarweeha. The tarweeha is the break between 4 rakats. So it has to be 16 rakat just to be called taraweeh. Otherwise, it's not taraweeh. How are you calling it taraweeh? Taraweeh is the break between 2 sets of 4 rakats of taraweeh, of prayer. You understand what I'm saying? Just the word itself. In any case, this is the consensus of all the Imams of fiqh, and this is the consensus in ijma, in the prayer, in the haramain, etc., etc. So it's pretty clear. Then obviously the question comes, why don't you address where this whole 8 came from? Well, in short, that's a hadith of Aisha Siddiqa radiyallahu anha. A rigorously authenticated narration that we are not going to attack its veracity or its level of authenticity. It is very authentic. It's in Sahih Bukhari. And what is it in the chapter of tahajjud, which is very key. The placement of the hadith in the chapter is very key. Fiqh al-Bukhari fi tarajimihi. The understanding of Imam Bukhari is apparent through the chapter headings. This hadith is present in many books of hadith. To date, none of the scholars of hadith have ever placed this hadith in the Taraweeh chapter. They always place this hadith in the tahajjud chapter. Somebody asked Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu anha, what was the prayer of Rasulullah at night? So she said, مَا كَانَ يَزِيدُ فِي رَمَضَانَ وَلَا فِي غَيْرِهِ عَلَى 11 رَكَعَةٍ. Somebody thought that Rasulullah perhaps he would perform more tahajjud in Ramadan. So she said, whether it was Ramadan or whether it was out of Ramadan, Rasulullah never performed more than 11 rakat. 8 rakat tahajjud and 3 rakat witr. So the hadith says, فِي رَمَضَانَ وَلَا فِي غَيْرِهِ. So this is an open challenge. No one can ever prove that there's any hadith that she's talking only about Ramadan. She's talking about wala fi ghayrihi. In Ramadan and out of Ramadan, he always performed 8 rakat tahajjud and 3 rakat witr. So tahajjud is a different prayer, Taraweeh is a different prayer. Tahajjud is performed year long, Taraweeh is performed in Ramadan. Tahajjud is performed after you sleep and wake up, Taraweeh is performed before you sleep. Taraweeh is performed right after Isha, Tahajjud is performed before Fajr. Taraweeh is performed in Jama'ah and Tahajjud is performed individually. Taraweeh is 20 rakat, tahajjud is 8 rakat. So there should be no confusion regarding that. If a person, then there are different categories. There are people who leave after 8 rakat because they're tired, so that's fine. There are people who leave after 8 rakat because they're misinformed, they think this is sunnah. That's a little bit worse. But then there are those, unfortunately, who are so wrong that they say that 8 rakat itself is sunnah. Anyone performing more than 8 rakat, 20 rakat is doing a bid'ah. Now that is clearly crossing the line. I'm following the sunnah of the hadith of Aisha and everyone else. My dear brothers, when Umar radiallahu anhu took the consensus of the ummah of the Ansar and Muhajirin, where was Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu anha? She had not even moved. When did she move? She was right next to Masjid al-Nabawi. Her hujrah was where the grave of Rasulullah is. When her husband was buried there, she was still there. Then her father died, was buried in her home, she was still there. It was only when Umar radiallahu anhu took permission from her and said that when he was dying, after he was attacked in Fajr and he was bleeding to death, he asked the people, his son, that take permission from Aisha Siddiqa if she gives me permission to be buried in the hujrah. And she said that I had reserved this place for myself. My husband Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is buried here. My father Abu Bakr is buried here. I wanted to be buried next to my father, next to my husband, and in my home, my room. This is where I live. This is where I came since I was married. This is my home. But I will give preference to Umar over myself. Then the messenger came back, the son came back. Abdullah bin Umar said she gave permission. But then Umar said, no. I am Amir al-Mu'mineen. Therefore she is maybe under pressure. After I die, take my dead body to the outside after you perform janazah. And don't say Amir al-Mu'mineen is seeking permission. Say Umar ibn Khattab is seeking permission. If she allows me, then bury me there next to Abu Bakr and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If she doesn't give me permission, then bury me in Jannatul Baqi in the graveyard of the believers. So they brought the dead body and they said, Umar Bilbab, Umar ibn al-Khattab Bilbab. She said, Marhaban bi Amir al-Mu'mineen. Marhaban bi Amir al-Mu'mineen. Welcome to Amir al-Mu'mineen. She got up, she dusted herself, picked up her belongings and left. In any case, my point was she was living right next door. The narrator of the hadith of 8 that people are so excited about, herself were present there. Why didn't she raise an objection and say, hey, this is a bid'ah, Umar, you're doing a bid'ah? She did not raise an objection. With the consensus of the Sahaba, including al-Mu'mineen, the 20 rakat is performed. So that's why this is a misunderstanding, a misapplication of the hadith, wrong istidlal, to take the hadith of tahajjud of Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu anha and apply it to Taraweeh. And the added insult upon injury is that if you say that those performing Taraweeh 20 rakat are doing bid'ah, na'udhu billahi min zalik. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us a correct understanding of deen. Now